Wow. I love how they watermarked my images so nobody stole them. Why, thank you. You've seen the beginning of this video, so you know why we're here. Words. I'ma have some words. So, last night in the wee hours of the morning, I got an email, or noticed an email. Someone messaged me on Etsy and said someone else was selling my Oracle deck, and there was a listing on Etsy, but it was for half of what I charge for it. It seemed a little off, like I wasn't sure if maybe it was a wholesale order. I did a quick search and it was not someone that I did a wholesale order for. But I wasn't sure where they got the Oracle decks and for how much and why were they so cheap. I was reading through the listing and they said they printed them in-house through screen printing, which the first edition of the Oracle deck I did screen print, but they're using images for the second edition with the new booklet. And yeah, so I contacted them and I asked, can you share with me the creator to either catch them in a, whether they were going to say they created them or maybe find a supplier. So I didn't say that I was the artist or anything. I just wanted a little more information. They did not message me back. However, they removed the listing rather abruptly this morning. But I did get a screenshot of it, but that listing is now gone. But I wasn't sure if it was an isolated incident or something bigger. I wanted to find out where they were getting them, so I took an image, some of the images they were using, and I was trying to find if maybe some of their wording they copy and pasted from like an older listing or something of mine. And the image ended up pulling up an enamel pin of mine on AliExpress, which I'm actually sold out of this enamel pin right now. I was thinking of redoing the art and updating it a little bit and giving it a little more detail because it was my first enamel pin that I originally did with the Oracle decks first Kickstarter when I was doing the screen printed, the first edition, whatever. Which this first edition is no more. Like, I can't make it anymore. It was a ton of work and there's reasons. I'll get to that later. But this enamel pin is like way, like I was looking through, someone had bought it, and because their pictures are misleading because they just superimpose it on the person wearing it or whatever, and someone had left a comment, a review that said it's way smaller than anticipated, and I was looking at it. I have no idea what currency that is, but it does look very small because the actual pin has 2 backing posts and has my signature on the back. All my enamel pins have my signature, so if you get one that does not, it was not made by me. I imagine because the pin's so much smaller, they probably just swiped the artwork offline and vectorized it and just shrunk it down just because detail. So back to the Oracle decks. while I was looking for things, I found like my worst fear was like they were on AliExpress being sold wholesale, but close. It was a site akin to something like AliExpress. Like it looks like it's a marketplace, but it's based in the UK. I've never heard of this marketplace before, but looking at the images, like the bad, like the it looks like maybe they tried to vectorize the image. I don't know if they have a deck that they scanned because they had to have gotten the booklet somehow. But it looks like they might have tried to vectorize it because there's just a lot of weird noise in some of them where it looks like it was like digitally removed information trying to get like a black or something. And they also edited the back of the card. So the second edition of the Oracle deck has the stag skull back, but it also has the runes written around it. And when you get the Oracle deck from me, it also has a wax seal on it. Like, I don't know if they're doing the wax seal, and if they are, what are they using? Because it's not mine. It just says Mystic Misfits and Runes, which is also the branding that they moved from around the edge of the backs of the cards. So yeah, this is a thing. Like, they branded all the images. Like, it is so easy to remove watermarks nowadays, so I don't bother watermarking things as much anymore. I just keep things to lower resolution, so I don't know if they took the artwork digitally offline or if they actually bought a deck. That's unfortunate. No matter what, I don't know if there's a bigger problem, if maybe there's another supplier. I'm just going to keep an eye out. So I was looking into the seller because if they got my deck, they got someone else's, and it looks like they sell a ton of different decks. If you recognize any of these artists, you contact them. I will have the link in my description to where they can report, like share with them that link where they can report to maybe, I don't know how the marketplace handles it and if they'll take it down, but I imagine maybe the seller could end up getting removed if they have so many copyright strikes. I was easily able to find one artist quick last night because I found out how to do reverse image search on my phone by just like holding the image for a bit, and then the thing popped up for like Google Lens or whatever. So, but there is a lot of artists and I do not have the time to reach out, so I'll be reaching out to some when I find time this week. But I'm super busy. But if you, any of my Oracle deck or tarot friends, if you recognize any of these artists, like reach out to them, let them know, because if these people are doing like wholesale orders or something, they might end up flooding the markets with knockoffs. Like, that's just a thing. So like, I really want to be proactive in trying to get mine removed. But again, I don't know how this website deals with it. Going forward with my Oracle deck, which I'm going to end up being forced to make changes sooner than later because I want to get rid of the last stock of the second version. I'm going to be changing the booklet. I have probably about 220 right now booklets of the older version, so I'm going to probably sell out of them, and then second edition may not be anymore. Might add some cards, might change some art, edit the booklet, going forward. I might have a box made because I was thinking about that, but it's just gonna force my hand to do it like a little sooner than probably anticipated. Maybe it'll be a nice anniversary edition for next year or something. I don't know. The enamel pen, I can also reach out to AliExpress, but I don't know because China doesn't really observe copyright laws, but I see they do have a report page, so I don't know if they're just trying to be in compliance of working with other countries. Maybe AliExpress will remove it. I have no idea. Sometimes what happens is some people that actually make the pins themselves, like you have someone on a line that steals a mold and they end up reproducing them in their free time or whatever. That's also a thing. I go through a middleman to have my pins made. Partially because it makes the process a little easier. It's more expensive to do it that way, but like they can help me with anything really. But they also don't take copyrighted work, which I appreciate, even though that's kind of my middleman's thing. They've actually toured the company, know about it, and tried to source from an ethical company. Unfortunately, like getting stuff made within the States is hard. Like United States doesn't like really make anything anymore. Like it's really frustrating, like with the card printing, which it might be something that I actually start doing myself. I just need to find the right lamination, and now that I have the means of bigger production right now with my printer, like I really got to test out stock and lamination process to see if I can get something akin to what I'm used to. The only issue is finding a decent lamination that's thin, and definitely takes some effort because sometimes you gotta order stuff in bulk, and if it's the wrong thing, then it's frustrating. But I wouldn't say I'm crushed. Like I'm really disappointed because like things like this are going to happen, and they've happened before, and it just adds a little insult to injury. Like the Oracle deck was my biggest ever project. It was the first project that I ever I had to have like a ton of money up front to do. Like I had to sit down and crank out all the art. I had to learn a whole new printing process, and it was excruciating. The Oracle deck was the last thing I put into this world before I got sick, and it was probably the very thing that kick-started the lupus and went crazy. Like I got sick like right after that. I wouldn't like it is frustrating. The pin is attached to that too, so the pin was originally a reward for backers, and then I sold off the rest of what I had left over. But again, if you got the pin from me, it's glow in the dark. It's much bigger than whatever one they're selling on AliExpress, and it looks like the one on AliExpress doesn't have enamel. Mine is hard enamel. With my health, like I always feel like I'm rushing, trying to get as much as I can done, because I don't know when there's going to be a point where I can't do things. And like the Oracle deck was just this big huge project I did, and like I am like before that point, like if you followed me, like I was so prolific, especially with painting. Like I was doing a painting a week, and now I can't. But like at this point, like I am feeling pretty decent, and I have a lot more energy, so I have been doing quite a bit more. I'm definitely doing a lot of digital art. Like, it is what it is. Like, people just take things from artists and they just reprint them. But again, if you recognize any of these artists, contact them. That link is in the description. Maybe I'll do a pin comment, I don't know. Today was supposed to be like a day where I got all my listings done and stuff, and I just kind of have to deal with this and gotta figure out how to report things on different platforms now. So if your Oracle deck look funny, it's because it's probably funny. You can see my back of the cards is a lot different. They enlarged the stag skull and removed the mystic misfit runes around the side, and it looks like they edited some, at least the one other cards I found, it looks like they edited those as well. And of course there's differences in the enamel pen too, so. But all my pens will always have my signature on the back, period. So if you find something that price seems too good to be true, chances are it is. I have sold some Oracle decks wholesale for resale, like the Blue Lotus shop. If you find them, do not harass them. Those are completely good. But I typically don't do wholesale often. I just every now and again I'm asked, and I just oblige. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching and giving me some minutes of your time for this super serial video. I will be back Monday with another vlog if you don't hear from me before then, or something else. Because I was kind of thinking of doing another time lapse, but I have another studio vlog which I'll be working on the update in for the next shop update. Anyways, bye.